Now, okay, so good evening, everyone. Again, it's amazing having all of you with us. And I like to say, welcome, Aditya. It's an honor having you with us in this call. And before I give the word to Aditya, I just like to give some few words about Aditya. When I met Aditya 2.5 years ago, I realized immediately I have a man in front of me with a huge knowledge. You can sit with Aditya and talk about the world, about the universe, about young living, about everything. This man has a huge amount of knowledge. It's a source of knowledge. I love that about Aditya, and I never can stop listening to him. So that's really an honor that he gives us today his time. The secondly, he is one of the very first members from Young Living in Europe. So he knew Gary very well. He was at so many farms. So Aditya know Young Living inside out. And I think he saw more than a lot of other members in this company because he's so long time with the company. And I'm so happy that we can spend this time together, hear about his story a little bit and his top tips how to build a successful Young Living business. Welcome, good evening, Aditya.
Да.
Hello, Ali. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Dobry wieczór. So, Ali, we are doing this as an interview, or I give a presentation?
Absolutely. I thought I thought you like to say a little bit more in Russian. I was surprised that you started. I would say, share with us your Young Living story or your story. Let's see or meet you the first time today, let's say.
Okay, I prepared a little presentation. Pictures say more than words.
You are right.
And we maybe can mute the participants.
Yes, I ask also, please, everyone, mute yourself.
Okay, wonderful. So welcome to a Diamond Night. I'm very honored, Ali, this beautiful introduction. I have not been the first in Europe. I came 8 years later. So the pioneers, they go way back. Actually, there was someone already in 1997. And then a whole bunch of important people came in 2001. And I came in 2009. But according to our present day, this is, of course, already ancient history. And it is absolutely true what you say. It was very exciting because we had Gary coming to Europe every year. And he was at the farms. He actually showed us the French farm more than once for days. We couldn't even sleep. It was like 4 hours sleep and the rest was activity with Gary. And what can I say? He also showed us the Croatian farm, the Helichrysum farm, which was also an amazing achievement. And he's a man we all can learn from. So I'm happy for everyone that you are part of Young Living. This is me in Salzburg around 1965. In my childhood, I was always sick, actually, which is very interesting. So I came to a wellness company, a wellness movement. And this is said to be the only photograph where I'm smiling in my childhood because I was sick every 6 weeks. I was lucky to grow up in Salzburg, Austria. This is the city with the Untersberg, this famous mountain in the backdrop. My parents, my father was a Ford Motor Company general manager. My mother worked at the university and they were very kind, very generous. At the same time, they were very normal. And I was looking for adventure. I was looking for something special in life. And I thought, oh my God, if I have to live like this for 70, 80 years, then how can I survive that? So first interests, of course, were science fiction, Star Trek, and I started to write stories. As soon as I could write, I was writing stories, science fiction stories and fantasy stories for more than 10 years. But then really I discovered rock music. This is me and my band Stormbringer at a gig in Vienna. My biggest concert was in front of 2,000 people. That was a very interesting experience because I was only 16 years old at that time. And it prepared me for speaking in front of people. But of course, that's a very different kind of speaking to people. You know, these were teenagers. The girls were screaming like with high-pitched voice, and they tried to grab me because I always went, to the border of the stage with the guitar. And then they grabbed my guitar and tried to detune my guitar, not knowing what they were doing. So it was interesting to see what emotions can do to people. And we are in an emotional business with Young Living. We can learn how to transport emotion, but it has to be guided, of course, in the right way. In network marketing, everything duplicates. So if you send out the positive vibrations, the positive emotion, that duplicates. And that will create a lot of harmony and stability in your team, in your organization. But if you have a bad day and you're doubting or you say some negative comments, well, good news travels fast, but bad news travels faster. Whenever I hear someone saying, oh, some people disappeared, a leg of mine, I lost a leg, which I'm always laughing about because that's a dangerous statement. Your subconscious registers this. And if you say, I lost a leg, what does that say to your subconsciousness and to your two legs, which you hopefully still have? So I prefer to speak of lines, really, for that matter. And I've never lost a line. And I cannot claim it for myself. I really have to say these are wonderful people in the team Enjoy. But before it came to that, I turned from rock musician to meditation teacher. And this was really a good part of more than 30 years of my life. Here you see me holding a 7-hour meditation in Prague, Czech Republic, in a beautiful park. And I've been really teaching in many places. I was in Moscow, in Kiev, in Ekaterinburg, in so many places. Of course, St. Petersburg and Kaliningrad, and oh my God, many, many good memories from Russia and also from Ukraine and other countries. I was in Moldova. I was all over Europe. I was teaching in the US, in Canada, in Argentina, in Brazil, in Paraguay. I lived for 2 years in Brazil, but also in Southeast Asia. And for me, one of the funniest things was when I was teaching a meditation workshop in Nepal, in Kathmandu, Nepal, in the Himalayas. A lady from the Kathmandu Times came and she interviewed me about meditation. And I thought, how can she interview an Austrian? What does an Austrian, I mean, I'm living in Germany for more than 20 years now, but what can an Austrian tell Nepalese people from the Himalayas about meditation? Next day it was in the newspaper, Guru Aditya teaches Nepalese how to meditate. Oh my God. So it's funny, but guru actually means teacher. So don't think I'm a guru. We are all gurus. We are all teachers. So here you have me at Sri Ramana Maharshi's cave, Virupaksha cave in Tiruvannamalai, South India. This is a cave where he reportedly gained God realization or illumination. And it's amazing. If you ever have the opportunity, go to some caves. They're really powerful spots on earth and you can learn a lot. I'm saying this also because there is something called an inner tradition, an inner knowledge that is available to mankind that is thousands of years old. And the mountains hold that knowledge. Also my house mountain, Untersberg, near Salzburg, it's a fabulous mythical mountain with many secrets. And then, of course, came that person, Gary Young, into my life, who was also from the mountains in Idaho. And I felt immediately that he didn't only have beautiful qualities like courage and initiative and using his hands, he's a real builder, but also a beautiful heart, a love for all people. Only someone who has suffered so much like Gary Young could really love people so much. It's actually, suffering makes you deep, and suffering also makes you more gentle and kind-hearted to people. So I felt with him that he stands in a tradition that is thousands of years old, that he's connected to an inner knowledge about life, about the secrets of life. What I find amusing, that the company was called Young Living. Young, of course, because of Gary Young, but it fits. And living, because it's really about life. What we are doing is about life, about the secrets of life, and about what we can do to foster life, to increase our energy, increase our harmony, increase our purity in all respects. So Gary Young, he's one of my most important mentors. Of course, I had a yogi teacher as well, who was very influential for me, who told me one thing, and I tell you a secret. He once told me, Aditya, I want you to become a millionaire, both in the inner world and in the outer world as well. And I thought, I'm not hearing correctly. How can a yogi tell me to become a millionaire in the outer world? But he smiled knowingly with his eyes. And I understood also it's important first to be a millionaire in the inner world. So your character, your development, your ethical development is very, very important, because if you serve thousands and later on tens of thousands and later on hundreds of thousands and eventually millions of people, it's very important that you are in the golden balance and you are really emanating something inspiring, something uplifting, and something harmonious. So Gary really changed my life, and I was very lucky. These ladies here at the convention in London, Young Living Convention in London, with these ladies, I started my team. They all came from my meditation classes and from meditation to essential oils. It's luckily just a short distance. And they and many, many others. And you know who you are and how grateful I am to you. Such beautiful people. It's really about the people. Young Living is a people business. And so the question is, who do you attract? Who do you attract depends on who you are. And of course, finally, that leads to you becoming really successful, becoming a millionaire even in the outer world, but never forget it starts inside, as within, so without. And I'm curious, I have celebrated my half-life anniversary. That's a good question. Actually, I have a life plan till I'm 150 years old. I was very inspired in a plane. You know, usually in the plane, people fall asleep and you are high up 30,000 feet and you can think clearly. You can be very inspired. So if you're an author, if you're writing stuff, I can tell you, use these hours high up in the clouds. And I was flying from Rangoon in Myanmar to Bangkok in Thailand, and I got the inspiration, okay, let me write out my life history. And I discovered I always had 7-year cycles in my life. So the first 10 years, then 8 years, and then everything happened in 7-year cycles. So 25, 32, 39, and so on. So I followed the pattern and I wrote down what I would do in the next 7 years, what would be the main theme in my next 7 years. And I couldn't stop writing. And finally, I had written all the way to, I think it was 152 years. So Young Living is definitely a big factor for this project of mine. And half-life anniversary. So now I'm 57. And so that's maybe I'm still below half-life, which tells you you can do a lot in a lifetime if you don't burn out too fast. So think of life as a marathon, have big goals, and really write down your history, your future history, your goals, where you will be of tremendous help to you on your path.
This is so inspiring. Thank you so much, Aditya. And I learned also more about you now because there were a couple of stations in your life which I didn't knew. I mean, very inspiring and very cool to see that you were a rock star. You are a rock star already, still a rock star, but a little bit different now. And I also really love the fact what you said that to be a millionaire inside and in the other world and in this world, it makes so much sense. And I see in the comments that you are inspiring the people already with what you said. I really love that, and I can't wait to have one day a meditation with you together. I really like to experience this. We have to do that one day.
Yeah, let's do it. I
So
meditated with Jared Turner in Australia, and it's very nice because many Young Living corporate, we call it, so from the company, beautiful people. Without you, without Young Living corporate, we couldn't do what we are doing. So basically, we are called the field. We are the ambassadors going out into the world, but the strong backbone and the spine and the operations, that is Young Living Corporate. And Ali, I'm very happy to have you in such a prominent position in Europe. I know our future
thank
will
you.
be really strong. Our present is already strong. Our future will be even stronger. And I'm really happy for everyone who is watching this call. Make big plans, have big goals, because they will become reality. So dreams
Wow.
become true if you have them. Dreams become true if you have them. So if you have not started dreaming yet, Gary was a big dreamer. We could spend hours just explaining Gary Young's dream technique and manifestation technique. It is amazing what this man knew. I add one more thing. He was inspired not only by Jesus Christ, but also by Count Saint-Germain and his mystical tradition. So once I was in Gary's house, and I was amazed. There was a huge portrait, a beautiful frame picture of Saint-Germain, who is associated with the violet flame, the purple flame, if that rings a bell with anyone. And this is also why Gary always loved the lavender so much. He always called the lavender the purple majesty.
Yeah, I mean, I can only say thank you, Aditya. We on the corporate side, we see us as serving people. We are very grateful to be part of the Young Living family. And as you know me, it's for me, it's not only a job. It's really, I love it. And I love it that much that sometimes, I would like, I think myself, it would be more fun maybe be a member to be a member. So I'm very convinced about our mission here. And yeah, thank you for highlighting it, and thank you for give us insight about Gary. There's so much value here. Thank you. And I love the idea, Nikki, to do meditation together with Aditya. Maybe one day we can ask him to spend the time with us and do it. So Aditya, let's talk about the Young Living business. So, what kind of tips, or what would you tell someone who is here tonight and likes to learn from you how to build? What are the key points? What do you think is needed to build a successful business with Young Living?
Yeah, I've put some bullet points together. I come to those in a moment, but what you just said was very important. Basically, we are not doing it for the money. We are doing it for the mission. That means what you do, what I do, we would even do if we wouldn't get paid for it, because it's a work of love. And for Gary and Mary, it is a work of love foremost. This is why I'm so amazed by Mary Young, what a enormous personality she is. Tiny woman, tiny lady, but so strong. She's one of the strongest persons I've ever met. And she really sees through you. She has a very clear vision. It comes when you have clarity within yourself. So we could say, well, something that is important for you to achieve is clarity. Do you have clarity? And by the way, we have an excellent oil for that. And Mary always had the clarity. Gary was the dreamer and the manifester. And so very powerful, these two human beings, great human beings working together. So if you have a spouse, it's very important you work together and you use the complementary qualities that you have. If you are single like I am, then still you can combine yourself and connect with the good qualities of others in your team. And this is a very, very important thing. No man is an island. Network marketing is not a solo business, not a lone star business. It is many, many stars that finally eventually become diamonds. And what Ali said, are you on a mission? Would you do it just because you love it? Why is that important? Because if people feel that you do it for the money, they will not come to you. They will immediately say, she just wants to sell us something. She's just earning money with it. And that is the most important thing, that you exude this aura of a mission. Why is it also important? Because people follow someone who knows the way. What is a leader? Someone who knows the way, someone who leads his own life. And that's why people start to follow. If you're confused, if you don't have clarity, if you don't have goals, people will not follow you. But also a leader always has to be inspirational. So people will follow you only so far. Once they find out you are just doing it for some ego purposes or for your career or for the money, then you will lose many people, exactly the most important people, the good-hearted people.
Yeah, very good advice. Can we say this is the first tip that what you like to give us today?
No,
No.
we cannot say that.
But it's a good foundation. It's a very
Yes.
important foundation. Yeah, definitely.
That's the foundation, who you are, that you have a life plan, that you have goals you're going to, that you know you have somewhere where you're going to, because that makes you a leader. And then that you do it for the love of people, that you do it for the mission of spreading wellness, purpose, and abundance in the world, helping people change their lives. And money is just the due consequence. You deserve it. You deserve the money. If you have served many people, deserve comes from serve. Then you deserve it. If you don't serve, or if you serve only few, only little, recompensation will come your way because you don't deserve more. So basically, the more you serve, and that can be the quality, what is the quality of your service, and the quantity, how many people do you help changing their lives? This makes what you deserve. This makes your recompensation. That's why it's called compensation plan, by the way. You are reimbursed or compensated for your efforts. And in German, we have this beautiful word, Vergütung. And Vergütung means actually you have done something good and you get back for the good you did. Vergütung. I don't know how to translate it to English. Sometimes a language, I know it from Russia, I know it from Portuguese, Brazil, I know it from other languages. There are some words that you don't find in other languages. So basically, we financially get something back for the good we do, and it's in the word Vergütung.
It's so beautiful the way how you share this. I really love it because you explain also the power of words. I know that you are very strong in this. You always educate me also to be careful with my words. And it also relates to what Simon Sinek always say. And this is a proof why you are so successful. Simon Sinek says, people don't follow you for what you have, they follow you for why you do it. You think why you do things. And this is exactly what you explain here. And I love that. And you know which oil I love when I feel a little bit lost in why I go for something and where my mission is really, it's magnify your purpose. I love that oil so much. It helps me always to come back to connect again with my why, with where I'm going to. And it's so beautiful the way how you describe it. Thank you, Aditya. Thank you for that. So
Beautiful. And you
so
remind me. You remind me. That's what I just did. This is,
yeah.
by the way, Envision, very important oil. It's actually the one oil blend that contains rose oil, and this is the most affordable. And we don't have it yet in Europe. And I put it on my wish list to Kristen Todd. Maybe we are lucky to get it one day. It's a very powerful oil, Envision. So you speak about the purpose, the why, and magnify your purpose is the perfect oil for that. And what I said earlier has to do with the vision that you have. And with the vision you emanate, because then people see you have clarity, you have a vision, and then they follow you, especially if they also notice you have a good heart and you do it for the why, for the mission, and not for personal reasons. Although you can have personal reasons, of course, this is allowed, but it should not dominate the good that you want to do for others.
Yeah. Beautiful, thank you. So now we spoke about the foundation, what needs to become to bring the abundance into life. So what is the next step?
Yeah, now we can jump to the presentation. I've put a few points together. Let me find them. The first thing is be a product of the product. Use the oils every day. This is something very important because, of course, in our case, people will smell it. You will perfectly carry it around and inspire people just by what they smell. But also the most important thing is how does product... Okay, we have to mute this person. Christina Makowska, we have to...
Can I
Proszę
ask
wyłączyć
everyone
mikrofon.
to mute yourself, please?
Yeah. So this is something I found finally how you do it in a Zoom conference, that you have people under lock and key. And they are muted from the beginning. They cannot unmute themselves, and only if you allow them. So that's in the Zoom preferences. And that's for any one of you who gives Zoom presentations, something very important. Because otherwise, sometimes you really hear private life of people, which is not supposed to be shared. Sometimes they are not even aware of it. And I even heard some real bad discussions between people and they didn't know the microphone was on. So it's an intrusion into the privacy, but because people can't, sometimes they just put their microphone on. Here we are with another thing. It's quite interesting. There's so many factors, and that's technicalities. And you need to master technology to a certain extent. Even if it's something as simple as Zoom, it is simple, and at the same time, it has so many functions, and it's quite helpful if you go through all functions that Zoom has on the website and on your app. And you take 2 or 3 hours to discover everything, but then you can handle it. So for my team, I give even a Zoom workshop, but you will find out by yourself. It's actually as much as just going step by step through each thing that you can click or change. Okay, and that brings us back now. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you for sharing this. Thank you for sharing this, Aditya. I will definitely turn on this option for the next calls. Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, will be a big help. So we're back. Be a product of the product, because then people immediately notice. In our case, they smell it, but also they can see it. They can feel your energy. They see your face. They see the light in your eyes. And immediately, when they notice the product in some way in connection with you, and you have a positive appearance, then That's, on the subconscious level, that's already the most important thing you did. You proved that the product works. You proved that the product works. And this is important. If you don't use the product every day, first of all, you will not have so much wellness as you could have, because now you have these beautiful products in your life. And secondly, you're not demonstrating to other people that the product works if you don't use it every day. So that's my tip number one. Tip number two is know nature, know nature's living energy, know the distilled essences that come from the plants, know how life works. There is a number of good books, and I always recommend Kurt Schnaubelt, Valerie N. Warwood, and Gary Young as my three main inspirations. Yet there are others, of course. There are the classics, and you can even dive into Egyptian old knowledge, which is very profound knowledge, who have used already essential oils. Essential oils have been used for more than 6,000 years. So this is my tip number two. And I was with Gary on a trip, I remember where it was, and there was the one who became silver the fastest at that time. Now the fastest silver is 11 days. That's world record for Young Living at the present. But back then it was a month. And Gary, I think it was on a cruise, Gary said the first 2 weeks he spent reading the book, studying the book. He locked himself away. For 2 weeks, he did nothing but read the book for 10, 12, 14 hours every day. And then he had all the knowledge inside him. And then the next 2 weeks, he started to talk to people. And then he became, in these 2 weeks, he became silver. So altogether, it took him 4 weeks to reach silver, which was the record in Young Living at that time. So this is the knowledge of the products, knowledge of nature's finer forces. But then, of course, there is the person. And this is a beautiful, most beautiful book that Mary Young has put together in the honor of Gary Young, where you have so many pictures. And even if you were not lucky enough to experience Gary Young live, the book will do it for you. And it will really connect you, especially if you're an intuitive person, especially if you have some inner antennas. This will be the book that allows you to fully connect to Gary and to get the download, to get the channeling, or however you want to call it, of that wisdom and inner knowledge of life that Gary Young had. So this is number two, tip number two, know your products, study profoundly, and study Young Living history, because this history is not just his story, Gary Young's story, but it's actually 1,000-year-old story. It's nearly 6,000 or over 6,000-year-old story, a living tradition. Tip three, love people. Love people and have the sincere hunger to help improving their lives. So here I'm speaking about hunger. You know, thirst, I'm thirsty, but hunger, this is something very fundamental. It bites, you feel it. And you will be successful in Young Living when you have a real hunger to help others. So some people who I totally appreciate and admire, I know they could be much more successful. They just have a comfortable life and they're not hungry enough. Think about yourself. What would you do if you hadn't eaten for 18 days? You would be quite hungry. Of course, some of you are nutrition nerds. You know about nutrition. You know that we can go longer than 18 days even without food. But that aside, for the normal person, that feeling of hunger when he hasn't eaten for days is a very strong motivator. I'll give you another example, a yogi story. So there was a student who wanted to get initiation from his guru. And he was very obnoxious. Every day he would come again to his guru and say, great guru, please give me initiation. And the guru looked at him, the teacher looked at him and said, you're not ready yet. I cannot give you initiation. You don't qualify yet. And it just went on. And on the 8th day, the guru finally decided, okay, I have to give this student of mine an experience. And he said, come to the river. And the student was hesitating, like, why should I come to the river? I want initiation. And the guru stepped into the water, and he was waist deep in the water. And he said, come to me. You told me you want initiation. And the student thinks, why does he have to give it to me in the river? Why can he not give it to me normally or wherever? And now when the student reaches the guru pulls him down by the shoulders and holds him under the water. 1 minute, 2 minutes. Finally, he lets him out. And when the student has caught his breath again, the guru asks, so what did you feel? And the student said, I felt if I wouldn't catch a breath in the next moment, I would die. And then the guru said, once you have this intense feeling for reaching God, then you are ready for initiation. So this is the hunger I'm speaking about. How intense is your hunger? And that is the motor, the engine, like a rocket, you know, the fire that drives you forward in order to help the people that you love. And by the way, the more people you love and the more people you help, changing their lives, improving their lives, the more successful, of course, you will be in building your Young Living business. Number 4, something well known, not only in this industry, network marketing, but in other fields as well. What are your 5, as many as you have fingers on your hand, what are your 5 success habits, daily success habits? This is the important differentiation. Which are the 5 things that you do every day without fail? I give you 5 examples. This is something that produces the fastest growth. And on some of them, I'm not doing them for every day in the last 11 years. But when I do, it's always amazing what happens. So you could call it the secret formula. So I'm sincere to you. This is also very important. You as a teacher have to be an example of what you teach. And if you claim you're doing something that you are not doing, then you lose authority. You lose authenticity. It's very important that you are truthful. It's very important that you're sincere. So the 5 things that I have found to be the most powerful for 5 daily success habits in our field are, number 1, personal growth. Develop as a human physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. This is now just looking at you, not socially, where we look at others, but really just look at yourself. Who is number 1 in your life? You are number 1. You're the person you're born with, you're the person you will be on your deathbed with. There's no other person who is that important in your life than you. But of course, you don't just live for yourself. You have come into the world to live for others as well. My spiritual teacher always told me to live for others is the secret of secrets. To live for others is the secret of secrets. And it really makes you the happiest if you do good for others. However, the basis is you. The foundation is you. So develop as a human being every day, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Read good books, go to mentors, practice exercises, rituals, and also develop your intention. Work with intentionality every day. Daily success habit number 2, product usage. We talked about it already. Use the products every day to strengthen your well-being, because you are the proof, the living proof that the products work. Number 3, prospecting. Prospecting is a very interesting word because on the one hand, it means prospectare, from Latin, looking forward to something. Looking forward to something. Who is a prospect? He's a person who is interested in something. The prospects you and I are looking for are wellness seekers, purpose seekers, and abundance seekers. So what is he looking forward to? Prospectare? To more wellness in his life, more well-being in his life, more energy, more harmony, more balance, more strength. And he also maybe looks forward to finding his purpose, doing good for others, the why that Simon Sinek is talking about. And he also maybe looks forward to a life of abundance, inner and outer abundance. For Gary Young, for example, when you were financially in an unlucky situation, he said, this is like a disease. I call it financial sickness. And he said, the financial situation of a person plays a huge part in the overall well-being of the person. So we are looking out for prospects who are looking forward to something, who want to find something. And there is another meaning of the word, and that is prospector. And prospector comes from mining, you know, drilling in the mountain to find gold mines, to find silver, to find even diamonds. That is prospecting also. And that's a very important understanding. The prospector looks for a faint little trace of gold or silver or platinum or whatever it is in the rock. And then when it is there, then he has to determine where could be more, where is it coming from? So he drills. And the more he drills, he could end up not just with a little vein of gold, but with a real mine of gold. Some of the biggest gold mines in the California gold rush and in other places, tremendous, like hundreds, over 100, I think 119 kilometers long and up 6 kilometers in diameter, full of gold. Imagine that. So the prospector who was smart enough to find a little gold dust and then drill and drill and drill. Wow. And this is what we are doing, because any person that you meet could know another person, could know a third person, where finally you find the so-called mother lode, the mother of all mines, the biggest reserve of gold in that case. So what you're really looking for when you're prospecting is for such a connection, a person who connects you, who connects you, who connects you. Little trace of gold connecting to a little vein of gold, connecting to a little mine of gold, connecting to a bigger mine of gold, and maybe connecting to a mother lode. Who is that mother lode? Maybe a Royal Crown diamond who will be prospected to come into your team, and maybe even sooner than you, this person will become a Royal Crown diamond. Of course, if you have Royal Crown diamonds in your team, there's a big possibility that you yourself will be a Royal Crown diamond. So we're speaking about daily success habits. Find 2 or 3 contacts, prospects every day, offline and online. Most important, as you know, is the follow-up. Do you do the drilling? Do you develop your relationship with the person? Do you ask the person, who else do you know that is interested in this? Who else do you know that might be interested in wellness, in purpose, in abundance? And that leads us to daily success habit number 4, build golden relationships. Grow your relationships with each of your new contacts. Unless they say, I'm not interested, then you say, thank you so much. It was very nice to get to meet you. But with the others, grow deeper, grow stronger, a heart-to-heart connection, a golden heart-to-heart connection. And ask them, because they might know someone who knows someone, and you may have heard of 6 degrees of separation. That basically Stanley Milgram and Mark Granovetter proved this in their studies. We are connected person in the world via 5.4 to 6 connections. So just around 5.4 to 6 corners, we can get access to any person. that we're looking for, if we're looking for them. And that brings us back to something very important. What is your intention? Which people are you looking for? Are you even looking for people? So this is building golden relationships with the purpose of creating a network of fine human beings who all want to help humanity, who all want to bring more wellness, purpose, and abundance into the world. But also, there might be people that you knew already, people in your past, and you didn't think about them for 17 years, like happened to me when a friend of mine who lives now in Denver, Colorado, contacted me via Facebook and signed up with Young Living. Or another lady who lives now in Oslo and who has been, I think, 20 years, don't know how long it was, and through Young Living, we reconnected. So scan through the people of your life, because there are surely some who will be highly interested in what Young Living has to offer. And then revive and refresh the golden relationship with them. And finally, every day share life-changing, valuable content. What is that? That is information and inspiration and emotion. Remember, emotion is the driver. Emotion is the rocket. You inform, you inspire, and you emotionalize. As relating to Young Living's products, to the life of purpose, and to the business opportunity. You share life-changing information, emotion, and inspiration offline and online every day. So if your only takeaway from this evening is these 5 daily success habits or other success habits that you may want to create in your life, then this will be it. This will make a huge change in your life.
What I really, really love about this, what you showed us now, is that if people start doing this, if people follow your advice here, your tip, they will realize that they have a clean up in their environment and will attract people who are really people who fits their lives. You surround with people then who understand your philosophy, who understands your way of life, and then you are more happy because you have the right people around you. This is something what I love really about this. Thank you for sharing.
Beautiful. Okay, we have one more, and that's a simple, but at the same time, a big one. Shall I tell it, or shall we postpone it to the next meeting?
No, please go ahead, Aditya.
Okay.
Please,
Fine.
let's go into it. We love every minute with you.
Just want to make sure not everybody has fallen asleep already.
No, I don't believe that.
Okay, then I'm fine.
So you guys give us some reaction in the chat, whatever you like. So give us a sign that you are here with
Very
us.
good. Yeah, someone knows how to press the reactions button on Zoom. This is also very important if you do Zoom conferences. Bravo. Then you use these hands. This is for clapping, and the other one is for thumbs up. And if you want to ask a question, the Russian gentleman, he just put up this white hand on the on the blue background. My Cyrillic is not as good as it used to be, so I can't decipher your name, but it's beautiful. He raised his white hand on the blue background, which you do in the participants panel. So you go to more, and then you raise your hand.
It's amazing. I see the chat. The chat is full of love, Aditya. Everyone is with us. Everyone is with you.
Okay, cool. So this is Anna van der Weel. She also raised her blue hand now, white hand on blue background. This is what I do. Hello, Anna. When it's very important to have a discipline in a Zoom call. So when someone has a question, they raise the hand like Anna van der Weel is doing now. And when they say great, then they put up the golden thumb with the reactions. And when they give, then applause. Now, I sometimes abuse it because it doesn't have a negative. And sometimes I ask my participants who does not agree. And then I say, use this, like, no, because we don't have a no, we don't have such a one. We only have such a one. So I tell them, okay, if you agree, use this. And if you don't agree, use this, like, and this was a short Zoom training in between.
Thank you for this.
Okay, so we go to number 5, tip number 5. And that is, have a simple strategy, stick to it, execute it, and duplicate it. What is that simple strategy? First of all, be happy and spread happiness and positivity around you. And if you use the products every day, you have a very good chance of being happy every day. Secondly, inspire your team to establish 5 daily success habits in their own life. Number 3 of that simple strategy, hold 3 meetings per week, either offline or online, or a mixture of both. 3, not 1. If you do 1 meeting per week, it's usually enough to sustain your business. If you do 1 every 2 weeks, you will hardly grow, only through some personal contacts. If you do 2 per week, 2 meetings per week, group meetings or lectures or webinars or bigger events, then you have real growth. And if you do 3 events every week, offline and online, can be smaller events, larger events, then you will have a real growth and real joy in your life. And you have the good knowledge that you help so many other people improve their lives. Part 4 of this simple strategies, teach the young living basics. Most important basics, well, I forgot how to order products. Maybe I should include this. So enrolling, ordering products. This is what happens when you change your presentation after the fact. Everything collapses. Okay, why am I doing it? This is also, you see me changing now my slide on the fly because I felt something was missing. Is that a weakness? Did you see me now working on the slide? Or do I demonstrate with it that if something is not perfect, improve it? Just immediately change it, because otherwise I forget where was that I had to correct, and also you would see the wrong, missing the ordering products. So it would stay in your subconsciousness without this important fact, ordering products, which leads to essential rewards. First, people have to enroll. Secondly, they have to order how to order products. Thirdly, essential rewards. And then when it comes to the ranks, silver bound and the young living compensation plan. Again, 5. Enrolling, ordering products, essential rewards, silver bound, and the young living compensation plan. Now, actually, I'm quite interested. What did you think of the interruption I made now? That I corrected the slide, that I took the time to make it also graphically better again. Would you give it this or would you give it this? Please use the reaction button. Okay. Very good. Everyone is finding it, unless some. Oh, yeah. Very good. Beautiful. This is called audience interaction. So this is very, very important, especially now that we are mostly connecting online. You have to make sure your audience stays engaged. So I gave an example. I showed that I'm not perfect. I missed the most important thing, ordering products. Well, because it's so natural to me that I didn't think you have to write it down, but of course you have to write it down. These are the 5 basics: how to enroll, how to order products, how to have essential rewards, how Silverbound works, and how the compensation plan works. Again, 5. for the business building, like you have 5 for your own personal daily success habits. And I showed my weakness, that I didn't make it perfect in the first place. I took the time and I tested your patience to correct it in front of you. But what did I communicate to you by doing this? Did I get nervous? No, it's just, like some people in suits and very important people, they play over it and make a joke, Or did I show, because this is really very Gary Young. Gary, whenever he found something that was not working, then he used his hands and he made it work. So a hands-on approach. And what do you do if you show this with your own behavior to people? What example are you giving? So I didn't do this now on purpose. It was really a mistake. I forgot ordering products, but I know that you and I are, of course, not forgetting. Also very lucky we have the PV assistant, which helps us, when we don't want to miss out on some of the great, oh God, I could tell you a lot of things just about November and the November promos, but that's not the purpose of our call. But you see this inspiration is coming. And this is also when people see, wow, she's so inspired and she loves the products, and she, would immediately start talking like Niagara Falls. That's why I don't start talking now about the products. Then you are an inspiring person for them, because they know it's real. They know how serious it is for you, how important it is for you. Okay, so the last, and this is again 5. That also, yeah, looks nicer. It's not perfect aligned, but still better than before. Use a simple building method. I recommend the 3 by 3 by 3 matrix, also called the power of 3, because 3 becomes 9, 9 becomes 27, 27 becomes 81, 81 becomes 243. And I know that when the new compensation plan, it's from 2013, but at that time it was new, Mary Young took important focus on how you could make the compensation plan fit with this power of 3 idea. And now first, use it for yourself. Have you recommended the oils, the lifestyle, the purpose, the abundance to 3 more people that you really love, that you really want to help doing better in their lives? Have you shared it? You know why this is important? It's something that people say to me sometimes, Aditya, how can I give it back to you? You changed my life by showing Young Living to me. How can I ever give it back to you? And I always say, you cannot give it back to me, but you can give it forward to others. Because I have it already. You cannot give the oils back to me. I have them already. But you can pay it forward, give it forward to others. And so if you promise me, you say you're so grateful, it changed your life, then I'm asking you for a promise, share with 3 people. How has your life changed since you're using Young Living? And now maybe these are 3 people who are really waiting for something to happen in their life. Will you promise me that you share with 3 people who also, like you, will become enjoyers of the Young Living lifestyle? And that is the basic thought of sharing with 3 people, because if everyone does that, it's extremely powerful. So how does it look like? And by the way, we don't do it as a hype company. Like Gary Young once said, we are a wellness company. So wellness first. So even if we are talking about big numbers now, this is not to increase hype. This is not to dance on the tables and shout, we are all becoming millionaires. No, no, no. That's not the Young Living way. We are a wellness company, not a hype company. So how can you use this building method? I call it, on the first level, level 1, you enroll 3 people you want to give the favor forward to. your partner 1, partner 2, partner 3, and you do it in your cycle 1 or period 1. What is that cycle? That cycle could be 1 month. That cycle could be 3 months. For example, I give that favor forward to 3 more people within 1 month. Then I have enrolled 3 people in 1 month. Or maybe even more, because the promise is that 3 people really live the lifestyle that improves them, their dear ones, and the planet. So maybe I have to enroll 6 or 7 or 10 so that 3 are really doing it, so that the life is changing to the better. So you could say, well, I cannot do that in 1 month. For me, a cycle is 3 months. Well, that's fine. If it just takes 3 months to get 3 people who are staying and ordering every month with Young Living, then you have reached step 1. Now, step 2 is that you tell your members to do the same. This is called duplication. So you tell your partner 1, look, you enjoy it so much. Now you are so grateful to me, or you say you are grateful, but the proof of your gratitude is paid forward to 3 more people. So their life can also change. And this happens in cycle 2 or time period 2. So if it's 1 month, then it's now month 2. Or if your time period is 3 months, then this is now 6 months. And for you, it means it adds another level. It adds the second level in your compensation structure. So 8%, 5%. Quite interesting. If they order accordingly, which I line out here, and I'm not explaining in detail now, you can be, just with this structure, already a star. And with this structure, you can be already a senior star based on 155 PV orders. And here, based on, what is that? Based on 125 PV order, which is, by the way, the average order in Young Living Western Europe. I don't know the exact numbers for other parts of Europe, but in Western Europe, 125 PV is the average order per month. So basically, this is possible on average. Only question is cycle 1 or period 1, is it 1 month or is it maybe 3 months? It doesn't really matter, as I will show you in a moment. So they pay the favor forward to 3 more people. You become senior star, they become stars. Now their new people pay the favor forward to 3 new people that they know and that they want to help. This is now period 3 or cycle 3, that is 3 months or 9 months. Now you are an executive after 3 months or after 9 months, or whatever your time period is, whatever your cycle is. You could call it, but biologically, you could call it reproduction rate. So how quickly does your team reproduce, get children? Which is, by the way, an interesting idea, because we speak later on about generations in the compensation plan. So how come you become the father or mother, and then you become the grandfather and grandmother? And this is generations that you're building. There's a lot of wisdom in the compensation plan that many people are not aware of. So, however, we go to period number 4, cycle number 4. That's, in our 2 examples, either month number 4 or month number 12, depending if you take as a reproduction speed in your team 3 people in 1 month that stay, or 3 people in 3 months that stay. And I'm with you. Probably you and I can do 3 people in a month. I did actually, in my first 3 months, I did 72 because I was so inspired. But that's not what the average team member will do. But what the average person can always do is share with 3 people. Of course, tell a few more, tell 6, 7, or 10 people, so that 3 eventually stay. And that's why I think it's more reasonable to call this cycle or time period 3 months, because that's something everyone can do. So then you are, after 6 months, senior star. after 9 months, executive, and after 12 months, silver. Only with 3 months. Can you imagine? We regard it as slow. What, only 3 people in 3 months? Well, if you manage to implant and indoctrinate this principle of paying forward the favor that you were given one day and they were given by you, then a lot can happen. Because let's look at month number 5. Now you are gold. And your partners 1, 2, and 3 are now silvers, and their partners 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, they're executives. So the beauty of this model, and this is why Mary Young based the compensation plan on the power of 3, is because in every time period, other people also move up. They're always 1 step behind you, level 1, 2 steps behind you, level 2, 3 steps behind you, level 3. What a fascinating and genius compensation plan this is. So now cycle 5 means you can be gold really after 5 months. And in fact, there are people in Young Living who became gold after 2 months. Provided you share this duplication principle, pay forward this favor to 3 more people. Or let's say your reproduction speed is 3 months, the time period, the cycle is 3 months, then it's now after 15 months, you're gold. Wouldn't that be nice? And it's possible. And some people became gold already after 2 months. So we can play the game on. Now, what you see here is because of the PGV, because of the 1,000 PGV that are necessary once you're silver or gold or higher rank, you need, apart from your qualifying lines, you need extra. It's called 1,000 PGV. And this is here, you see already partner 9, 8, 7, 6, well, they're out of the picture. Here, you probably see them better, yeah. And this is the only time I break the rule that within 1 time period, I enroll only 3 people. Now I say, okay, let me go for 6. For 1 time, let me really do it big. By the way, you don't have to, because your PGV, also your own PV order per month, counts to the PGV. So if you order a lot and your partners 4, 5, and 6 order a lot, then you can have 1,000 PGV without having a partner 7, 8, or 9. However, for this example, it's extremely important to understand now in the time period or cycle number 5, level 5, you have reached now. This means there are people enrolled all the way to level 5. Now you start developing your 4th, 5th, and 6th line, and later on your 7th, 8th, and 9th line. And this makes it look like this. After 1 more cycle, that's after 6 months, or after 6 times 3, 18 months, already here, your partner 4 becomes a star, partner 5 becomes a star, partner 6 becomes a star. And here you are already on level 6. And then you have level 7, 1 cycle later, month 7, or 21 months if you take the 3-month cycle. Not only you are gold,
Читай природу.
not only,
Wait,
oh, I jumped one.
we are on it.
Ah, here it is. Okay, can you turn off your microphone, please? Okay. So here, month 5, just explained, you added 4, 5, 6, and maybe 7, 8, 9 for your 1,000 PGV. But also because now has come the time for you to start your 4th, 5th, and 6th line or leg. And now here, you see the next months, 4, 5, and 6 also get, because they follow the same principle, power of 3. Now you have number 1, number 2, number 3 continuing to grow, because this is now the 6th level, and they also become gold now. Your partner 1 is gold, your partner 2 is gold, your partner 3 is gold. Why are you still gold? For the simple reason that you have not built the 4th, 5th, and 6th lines completely yet. So we have to wait a little now in this model, but this is, after all, just 6 months or 18 months. So fantastic if you, after 18 months, not only are gold by yourself, but you have already 3 team members in your first 3 lines who are also gold. 7th time period, month 7 or month 21, their partners now, partner 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are also gold now. And of your line 4, line 5, line 6, they are now senior star if they follow that principle, always getting 3 people who remain ordering. And then month 8, they are already executive. The partner 4, partner 5, partner 6. And there are golds down here now already on the 3rd level. And you have personal 2nd, 3rd, and 4th generation payments already. Well, not really, because as a gold, you would have 4 generations, but you are paid out only 3 generations as a gold. So this is quite interesting, but that's higher mathematics, and you don't have to concern yourself about, because the Young Living algorithm works perfectly, and you will be compensated, you will be paid out, you will be vergütet according to what you have reached. And with such a structure already, it's very hard to calculate that all by yourself. Now, what you see here is you have 40 gold members already. How can that be? Well, you, then 3 on your first level, 9 on your second level, and 27 on your third level, because it's power 3, 3, 9, 27, 81, and so on. Which shows you that the generation leadership bonus is actually the most important payment method of Young Living. And I asked Mary Young, well, Mary, what if someone really perfects this? And we know a few people in America, they are sometimes over 300,000 a month, and they do exactly this. And Mary said, well, if someone managed to do this, they deserve it. They deserve it. They have served so many people, so they deserve such a big generation leadership bonus. I haven't put the numbers here for legal reasons. I can do that only within my own team because of it's basically within the company, you could say. It's also very important, don't make health claims and don't make income claims in public. As I don't know who is all here, and as most are not in my organization, which is like my company, I cannot share this information because it could be construed as an income claim. This is just a little legal side note. But now let's jump back. Cycle 8 means after 8 months, or 8 times 3, after 24 months, you have now 40 who are gold and 81 who have silver. Just even with the speed of 3 every 3 months. And your 4th, 5th, and 6th line are already developing very nicely. Cycle 9. Now finally you become platinum. Why? Because now your 4th, 5th, and 6th line are big enough for the platinum requirement. So what is that? Silver is 4,000 in 2 lines. Gold is 6,000 in 3 lines. And now finally platinum is 8,000 in 4 lines. And this is why we had to wait so long to reach platinum. And it's questionable. Are they silver? Yes, they are silver. You have to look at the color. Yeah, they are silver. And these are the senior stars. These are the executives. And down there you see the senior stars. And down there you see the stars. By the way, my Portuguese designer, she took 15 days to make all these graphics because it becomes like a fractal. It goes down really on a very microscopic level. So this is now you, and because you have now number 4, number 5, and number 6 also silver lines, it means that's enough for your 8,000 requirement for the 4th line to become platinum. And see what's happening here, number 7, number 8, number 9. Finally, you have given the starting command. On your mark, get set, go. You did it here. Here they were enrolled, maybe they were paused, maybe you enrolled them later, whatever was your requirement for the 1000 PGV. But finally, from cycle number 8, time period number 8 to time period number 9, you make that big step. You start even your 7th, your 8th, and your 9th legs or lines. Now they become stars by the same duplication principle, always pay forward the favor to 3 more people. That is after 27 months or after 9 months. That's how long it takes to get a baby. Could be platinum. You could have how many? 120 golds and 246 silvers. Just imagine how many lives changed. Level 10, month 10 or month 30. Remember, 3 months can be also a possible reproduction rate. Cycle 10, you are finally diamond within 30 months. That's a good achievement. But the best thing is now your first 3 partners, they also become platinum. And look at that. Your partner 4, 5, and 6 now become gold. And your partner 7, 8, 9 become now senior star. Cycle 11, you become crown diamond. And cycle 12, finally after 12 months, and that would be world record for Young Living. So far, no one has reached Royal Crown Diamond in 12 months, which shows you it's an ideal model, at least for the speed of 3 per month that stay. But if we take the 3 per 3 months that stay and duplicate that model, here we are after 36 months, and a number of people have become Royal Crown Diamond after 17, 18 months. So it's absolutely possible. It's actually twice as fast as with this model. Best thing about the model that you only enroll personally 3 people in the very beginning. And then you enroll 3 or 6 more people in the 5th period, in the 5th cycle. And that's it, unless you want to, again, start number 10, number 11, and number 12 lines or legs. So if the duplication principle is followed based on the idea that people want to do good, based on the idea that people want to help other people to have a better life, and based on the fact that they cannot pay it back to you, but they can only pay it forward, this is doable because the principle is very simple and actually everyone can do it if you can implement that idea in the mind's consciousness, subconsciousness, and superconsciousness of the people in your team. And you will be a beautiful and wonderful example for so many. And your team will be a real beloved team all the world over. So I really encourage you, everyone has the opportunity. Just take that simple idea, and it brings me to a last side note. It's called placing people. That means you find, oh, there is someone missing here somewhere. See how microscopic it gets. Actually, my PDF doesn't allow. It's only possible in Photoshop to go down to smaller levels. So here in Keynote, I'm not able to show you, but you say, okay, there's someone missing. And I'm enrolling now this person and placing the person there because there's someone missing. And then that person knows no one there, knows only you. And this is placing is always not as successful as organical growing. Because with organic growth, the 3 people that everyone enrolls, and then maybe 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9, they are all connected. They all know each other. So you have an organic growth like a tree. Or in this case, I'm showing you basically fractal flowers here. And if you do placement, then the energy doesn't flow because this person is disconnected, placed in some place where he or she doesn't belong, where he or she knows no one, and the only person is you or the person who placed or enrolled the person into that position. So my question to you, Ali, did I go too far?
No, I have to say, really say thank you so much for this bonus going through the composition plan from your point of view, because this was very valuable. Thank you so much for this. I took a lot points for myself. I learned some more things myself about the compensation plan. Thank you really much for this. And I'm pretty sure all people who are watching this video as a recording, they will appreciate this as well. And hopefully share it, guys. Share this. We have a crowned diamond in front of us and a future Royal Crown Diamond who knows exactly how to build a business also from the compensation plan of view. So thank you, Aditya. Yeah.
Then I share the last slide before we can have some questions and answers if you want. So always for your progress, for your success, and most important for your happiness, do only what makes you happy. This is me on Maui, on the volcano of Maui Island in Hawaii, standing really above the clouds.
Wow.
And this is just a little visual reminder of the things that you will be able to do if you live the Young Living lifestyle and if you share the Young Living lifestyle. So I also want you to stand above the clouds at sunset, at sunrise. It's in the morning, in the evening. It is absolutely out of this world, this scenery on Maui.
Wow, thank you so much, Aditya. Wow. I see in the chat people are writing best training ever. Very grateful. So thank you, Aditya. Thank you so much. Really inspiring. Really inspiring. And I also think that this shouldn't be the last call with you. Let us both find some time, maybe in next year, early next year, to spend some next diamond call together. I would really appreciate. It was so amazing.
Yeah, as you said, then we will meditate together.
Yes, then great.
I show you two meditation exercises, concentration exercises using the oils.
Awesome. So thank you very much, Aditya.